Hey, yo, Keys, you ready?
Let's get it.
Get on your feet, Tiger fans. Let's get loud. Let's go. Let's get active. Let's go.
Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy, Be Easy.
It's your boy V Keys, and this is the Uplayedtho podcast.
All right, Keys, man. We back for another exciting week. We talking Clemson football, and we got a lot to be excited about, man.
Yeah, we got another big W in the Valley this past week. Another W to open up conference play at that. So we definitely going to get all up into that.
Yep, feels good. A lot of players getting an opportunity to stretch their legs. We got to see kind of what some of the backups were able to contribute and areas for, improvement, but we'll definitely get into that. But before we really get started, Keys, man, let's go ahead and toast to the episode.
Oh, yeah. Let's cheers to that.
Yep.
Boom.
All right, so as we get into week 4 of college football, we want to talk about some of the games that we were really tuned into and some of the things that we noticed from some of the competition out there and some of the teams that we played. So, Keys, the Appalachian State Mountaineers that we just played waxed, right? I think we got that prediction kind of close, but, man, they didn't look good in this last game against South Alabama, man.
Yeah, and people was looking like, man, is it a fluke? So App State is that bad. So Clemson really not that good. The 66 y'all put up, because South Alabama came up and put up numbers, driving right down the field. But this is a South Alabama team that just put up 87 the week before this.
Yeah,
and they had a mercy rule. Otherwise, they would have put up 150 on whoever they played. But you had the naysayers. Well, cross out the Clemson win. It's App State. Okay, I get it, but it still felt good to getting them points on the board like that and play the players we played.
Yeah. App State got some challenges, man. That's all I can say. They had in practice they had that one. I think it was offensive lineman. Hit his teammate in the head.
Hey, this ain't your daddy Mountaineers.
It's not.
It's not. Yeah.
All right. So another game that we checked out was the Stanford Cardinal.
Yeah, they opened up ACC play, their first ever ACC game in Syracuse in the Dome, and they came out victorious with the dub. So.
Yeah,
their quarterback actually played decent. He's pretty straight. So they won 26-24. So they have another trip down to take. They got another orange team to play.
Oh yeah,
this coming week, and it's gonna be a little different than that one though.
It's gonna be a lot different.
I can guarantee you that
it's gonna be a lot different. But glad they actually put up a fight. Syracuse, they are who we thought they were.
Yeah,
I think you said that. So hey, we'll see what that orange can do later on. But another game that was I don't know if this was game day or not.
Yeah, it was game day.
So Tennessee took on the Oklahoma Sooners, and it really wasn't a game. The ending score really doesn't showcase kind of how that game went. Tennessee won 25-15.
Yeah, this is another orange team that maybe we can meet down the line somewhere. Again, we met in the postseason a couple of years ago, so maybe we can get our get back. We'll talk about that later. But big game day. Heupel back in Oklahoma as a Tennessee head coach, and they kind of dominated on the defensive side of the ball. They made them bench the Oklahoma starting quarterback, and now there's calls for the backup to keep playing on through the season. So we'll see with Boomer Sooner. We'll see how. The fan base, because from what I'm seeing, that they like the backup. They like how he came in there and made some plays. But Tennessee with a huge win. Yeah,
and Brett, man, there's a lot of expectations. Defense is always good. So he's not just gonna keep tolerating this. I mean, Tennessee was number 5. So I mean, it's not like they're not.
Well, Oklahoma definitely got their welcome to the SEC moment.
Definitely.
in this game right here.
All right, Key. So another couple of teams that we took a look at. It ended up being a good game. Vanderbilt and the Missouri Tigers. So the Missouri Tigers, man, I felt like they were ranked a little high at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And, I know you were joking, but you initially were going to take Vanderbilt coming out the SEC, but
Hey.
they're actually making some noise this year.
Call me what you want, man. You can call me a prophet. Call me, hey, Keys be on it though. But yeah, Vanderbilt was my sleeper pick. No, but there's no reason for Vanderbilt to be taking Missouri to overtime at Missouri. And you're number 7 at the time. You're a top 10 team. You got the Commodores, not the OJs, not the Osley brothers, the Commodores. You got them boys coming in there taking y'all to overtime. That's unacceptable.
Yeah.
So
Missouri, I'm sure they dropped. I think they dropped like 6 spots, which is well deserved. And we talked about it earlier. LSU, they barely beat the Gamecocks, who were unranked, and they didn't move a spot. So I don't know if it's a little favoritism going down there in Brian Kelly's camp, but we'll see how that shapes out later on. So Keys, man, how did you feel about that USC and that Michigan Wolverines game? It was really tight.
Yeah, man. I'm still not a believer in Michigan. Wasn't from the beginning of the season. And this, if anything, even though they won, this kind of further validates what I'm thinking. Like, they had 32 yards passing. This is a team they don't know what a forward pass is.
Yeah.
So if you load the box up, stop the run, they had Mullings, they running back, go for about 160. And USC, they kind of proved that their defense, they made a couple plays here and there, but if you got a dude who can't throw 30 yards in a D1 game, this is Power 5 football in the big house, 32 yards passing, 7 to 12. Who else is that gonna beat? So I'm not impressed by either team at all. Yeah.
So the rankings are a little bit too high. And Michigan actually jumped up a few spots. I think they jumped 4 spots in this new ranking.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, I get it. You know, they beat USC. I don't know how much stock they put into USC like that, or what the expectations are for them to go to the chip. They might be a playoff team. We'll see. But Michigan has some absolute struggles that they're going to have to deal with, man.
I'll tell you what, Ohio State they should run circles around them. I'm not sure about Ohio State's quarterback situation. It's better than theirs. I know that. So,
well, I'll say this: credit Michigan's defense, because you know, when you're inept in the passing game and you're one-dimensional, you're putting a lot on your defensive back. All right, so one game that went into the wee hours of the night here on the East Coast was the Baylor Bears versus Colorado Buffs, man. And I'll tell you this, man, it was one of those nail biters.
This is easily one of the best innings I've ever seen in college football. The way Shador rolled out in the pocket, rolled to his left, he almost got the ball knocked out of his hand at that. Throwing the Hail Mary from about midfield. So the play before that had the Hail Mary. The dude dropped it at the 1. He dropped it at the 1. All he had to do was catch it, turn around, score, tie game.
And it's raining.
So Shador rolls out, finds a man, boom. Catch in the end zone, touchdown. We're going to overtime. The fans rush the field like, hold on, is the game ain't over with? They got to review and do all that, make sure. So the game ain't over with. Fans rush the field, get the fans back off the field. So we go to overtime. Colorado scores. Right, 38. So it's 38, 31. So they get the ball back.
Baylor
get the ball back.
Down 7.
And who makes the play to win the game?
Travis Hunter.
Who forces the fumble that goes out the end zone to win the game?
Travis Hunter. His football instincts are just on a different level than a lot of these other players, man.
He is. This is a proclamation, man. He's the best athlete, the best two-way, like, offensive and defensive player I might have ever seen in college football. And I'm talking Charles Woodson. You were talking to Bailey's, champ. We talking, you know what I mean? Who else you want to throw in that conversation? Travis Hunter is right there in that conversation, arguably the best one.
And the thing about it, Keys, he does it every game.
Every game, bro. He playing 120 snaps. He got 2 touchdowns and a pick in the game, bro. Come on, man. He has his own touchdown to interception ratio for every game.
And I'm going to just say this. As we listen to all these ESPN analysts and Fox analysts talk about, hey, you can't play both ways on the next level. You can't play both ways on the next level because we haven't seen it yet, right? You don't know. As valuable as he is to both sides of the ball, who's to say he's not going to get that opportunity? Dion had that opportunity. He played some, offense and defense, but he's spectacular as an individual to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go for the win here.
Yeah.
Right? Because, he wasn't going to stop him before he got to the goal line, but he did have an opportunity to say, hey, I can go for it all and we can win this game.
He had the perfect hit. Had the football, helmet the ball, pop out. We got the dub. So,
yeah.
And as far as the two-way thing in the league, we could say that for another time, man, because that can be a whole nother episode.
It can.
You know what I'm saying? And we're going to have to get into that with Travis, man, because he's that special, man. So, shout out.
So the Bucks can do some big things, man. They got to get better on defense, and shout out to Shador, man. He had another 341 yards, passing 2 TDs. Hey, he holding it down. He
did his thing.
All right, Keys, man. We done ran through college football and some of the big games, man. But it's time to talk about them Tigers.
Yeah, this is what they came for, right?
This is what we came for.
Yeah, man. So like I said, we opened up conference play, ACC play with one of our good rivals, NC State, which is the Textile Bowl, which was more prominent of a rivalry in the early 2000s and the 10s as far as like the Textile Bowls. I mean, it's kind of faded out a little bit through the years, but to those near and dear to Clemson, it's still one of the most hated rivals in the league because, nobody likes Dave Doran.
Nobody.
And I see that's a consensus. I see other teams like, oh man, thank y'all, man, we can't stand him. Hey, don't that Dave? you don't got no love in these streets.
And I'll tell you this, Keys. I talked to a Wolfpack fan, I want to say 10 minutes before the game because I went to talk to PAT at the apartment, and a Wolfpack fan was just walking his dog, and he said, hey, he saw all the paraphernalia I had on. He said, hey, what about that game today? And I said, you tell me. he said, nah, man. Not with the whole we're in. Not today. So, man.
Yeah. So I believe our prediction, I said 45-17. What was yours? You had us in the 6.
I had 62-17.
Yeah, and boy, it was 45-7 at half.
Yeah.
And man, shout out to QB1.
Shout out.
Another great performance. So shout out to you for playing well with the confidence.
Great decision making.
Yeah.
Great decision making. Throwing the ball, knowing when to throw the ball away, when to check down, when not to play hero ball. Like, that maturity is flourishing, man. He's learned a lot. He's taken leaps and bounds from last year.
And it's a couple things I said that came true this game. I said defense, I want to see 3-4 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Defense we got 2 turnovers in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And we got 3 overall. And then another thing I said is I want to see T.J. Parker. We haven't called his name all season.
Mm-hmm.
T.J. Parker had a sack fumble.
Man.
And that led directly to another Clemson score early on, and the floodgates was open early.
Yeah, and I love that because you can see the defense being energized, the offense being energized. A lot of the freshmen, they didn't have the explosive game that they had at Appalachian State. I think Tyler Brown, he was hurt. He was hurt.
He didn't play.
But our freshman. Wesco, I don't know if he got maybe a couple of targets.Maybe he got one target.
Yeah, one catch.
Yeah, one
or
catch.
two,
and TJ Moore, he had 40 yards, one catch. But we really spread the ball around, man. You got Cole Turner involved. Antonio is clearly setting himself apart. With Tyler not being present. And Phil, it looked like he got hurt for a second.
Yeah, he landed on the shoulder kind of awkwardly, but you know what? He went out for a play or two, and guess what happened? The first play, he came back in 6. First play. So we're like, okay, yeah, he good.
It shows you how valuable he is,
he
right?
Good. And we also had, Avion Terrell had a forced fumble on Concepcion, which is their best player.
Mm-hmm.
He had a forced fumble and recovery on the sideline in the first quarter. I mean, we was...
Don't you love his instincts, his ball instincts?
Yeah, he's looking like he's following his brother's footsteps. He looks like he can be a potential first-round corner. So it's still early for him. He's only a sophomore, so he got room to grow, get better, grow into his body a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the way the game opened up, first drive, the fourth play, 55-yard touchdown run by Cade, which shout out to the offensive line pulling, doing their thing. Tight end Olton, my bad, excuse me, Pat Henry.
Yeah.
It's Olsen Pat Henry.
Mm-hmm.
He been doing his thing on the blocks. He's making holes right along with that line, and that's what sprung Cade for the 55-yarder. And boy, he has some wheels, isn't he?
Man, what? I gotta go check that 40 time, man, because he might be one of the fastest. Cole Turner. Hey, you better watch your back, man.
And Woody said that too when we interviewed Woody Dansley. He said, Cade is one of the fastest on the team.
Yeah.
So we got to bring that one back out because he definitely is, man.
You're right. I think we need to drop another Woody clip, man. I think the fans.
Oh yeah, it's time, man. It's time, man. So I was overall with the first team I'll add 45-7 at half.
Yeah.
And so going to the second half, Cade. The first team only played one possession.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And then
the third,
we got to see the backups and all that. So,
and shout out to Coach Sweeney for giving the backups an opportunity. I always say this. I feel like we say this every pod. We want to make sure that we have the right people getting game reps just in case we need to call in their numbers. And a lot of these players we're going to see next year really get an opportunity. So we want them to have as many real game reps as possible. A little disappointed in some play. We can talk about that. It really kind of extended the winning gap, the score gap.
It was discouraging to see, how the backups, the third, fourth team, cool, and it's some players that's not on the depth chart. We get it, but I mean, they just got ran through. Like they wasn't even on the field in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
And, when Dabo says we don't play to the scoreboard, we play to a standard,
Mm-hmm.
you still got to play, man. Like, they some of the cats look like they never seen a football field before.
Yeah, it was a lot of miscues. One bright spot was Sammy Brown. He was out there.
He was all over the field.
He's a 5-star for a reason. We know what we have in him. He led the team in tackles with 8. But just a bright spot, Sammy Brown. And then you want to talk about that pick six though?
Oh yeah, so we had another freshman come through, Ashton Hampton, with a 53-yard. You heard about a 53-yard interception return for a TD. The boy looked good too.
Yeah,
good size corner. Hopefully we can get him in the rotation some more. But I do want to point this out too. So we played 96 players. You know how crazy that is to do in a conference game, especially against North Carolina State, a team who beat us last year.
Nobody else is doing that, man.
We played 96 players, and I tell you this, only about 22 of them can play though. Hey, we need some help in that depth right now. I will say that.
I'm gonna say this, man. I know Dabo. I know he don't care, man. But some PR person gotta go talk to him, man, cause and we had a good players in, and when you take your good players out in the team, I'm like, come on, man, don't stall him out now.
That's how it is, though. Like the numbers are skewed heavily, but like you said, it don't work like that. You can't from the first to third quarter, but fourth quarter we're gonna throw that out. Nah, it's a complete game, so you gotta take the good and the bad. So giving up 28 points in the second half is not ideal.
Yeah.
But luckily, and this is the first time we've been able to say this in years, luckily, our offense is good enough now to where we can buy time for our defense to gain some depth, gain some experience, and play better.
Yeah.
So when we get into more meat of the conference schedule, which this was supposed to be our hardest conference game coming into the season.
Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, arguably, well, this in Florida State, so
yeah, and that's the thing when the AP goes out and they rank these teams based off of recruits and last year's play, you really never know what you're going to get. It is a little disappointing to see some of our ACC teams not meet the billing because we know we're going to hear it. SEC loves to say they got the toughest conference, and the ACC is peanut butter conference and whatnot, and how weak we are. But at the same time, we got Louisville, who's they got a tough game this week. But we also got Miami that's kind of holding it down, and to be honest, they looking like they might be for real.
Well, Louisville just coming off a win against Georgia Tech, which was their toughest game so far this year. So they got the win. I wouldn't say mighty impressive, but win is a win. So it looks like Louisville, and they're ranked right above us right now. So
Yeah.
they look to be our hardest remaining opponent. But yeah, you're right, Miami. Cam Ward is out here just still throwing for 400. But
He's an athlete, man.
yeah, he's a good player. So we'll see. Like I said, we'll see what happens when they face a more challenging defense, which they've had some cupcakes. You know what I'm saying? So
They've had some cupcakes and they sputtered a little bit, but we'll see. We'll see. Like you said, we'll see when they get some real competition to play against and see exactly how good they are.
yeah,
All right, Keys, man. Let's go ahead and talk about the game that we got this week for homecoming down in Death Valley, man.
yes sir. Homecoming.
So we talked about it a little bit earlier, man. Stanford has a real tough challenge this week.
Oh yeah. Like I said, they looked pretty decent against Syracuse last week. And they looked okay, but this is a whole set of new challenges for them. This is a night game in the Valley. It's homecoming. The last night game we had was App State, and you saw we set records.
Yeah, man.
So, and speaking of setting records, Clemson's the first team in over 20 years to have a 28-point lead in the first quarter and back-to-back games. So that's a stat. You know what I mean? So if we can come out the gate and do that again,
yeah,
to drop 4 touchdowns in the first quarter, and our defense is just 3 and out. K 6 defense 3 and out. I mean, I love it.
What I like is every week I can see that we get better and better. I know we had a bye week, and sometimes the bye week helps you out. You get a little bit of rest. Everybody comes back refreshed. But sometimes you come back and you're out of sync because you ain't played for a week. But it's great to see that, and we got another opportunity against the ACC opponent. And it's about winning your conference, right? Winning your conference, getting to the playoffs, and then performing from there. We had a great test at the beginning of the season to see where we are, but I like to see the progression. And now that we see where we are, see what the weapons we have, we're taking those chances, we're taking those opportunities now.
And you know what? Real quick, speaking of the bye week, and this is what makes the win much more impressive, because usually, man, when Clemson comes out of bye week, we've been coming out slow, coming out the gates, especially with an afternoon game. Remember the Syracuse game a couple of years ago? We was at afternoon game. We were sluggish. We were looking bad. Cade had to come in and relieve for DJ. So
yeah,
it's been some times at the bye week we struggled. So to come out this, after the bye week, we look clean and sharp, and that was good to see.
One thing that I will notice, or I do want to say that I have noticed, Keys, is in prior years we were saving our card, holding our cards, not playing the plays that we thought we should have. But now it looks like we just opened up the playbook and said, "Let's go get it."
Yeah,
let's go get it. We're not worried about what's coming down the line. We'll deal with that when that comes. But
and I think Georgia looking at us now like, ooh, I'm glad we didn't get this version of the boys, because they.
Not the same team.
Especially the version of Georgia we last saw against Kentucky. Yeah, so
they can definitely be had. But just wanted to kind of talk about some of the players that we have with some injuries, nicked up, whatnot. Adam Randall, he actually has to have. I think they said he has to have a screw in his toe, so he's going to be out for a little while. He just had probably the best game he's had in a little while. Had a touchdown.
It's his first touchdown.
His first touchdown.
Yeah,
he led the team in receiving yards. But just prayers up, heal up. He's a junior, so we'll probably have him next year as well. But and Peter Woods, day to day. He didn't play in this last game. How do you feel about that? You think he's going to play?
Before the game, I said, it'll be, if we can hold him, and we can let K-Part and the boys do work, and they did work.
They did.
In his absence, so I know it's homecoming, everybody be amped up, so I'm pretty sure he'll play. Yeah, Saturday.
Maybe for a few downs, based on how I guess the game turns out. But Tyler Brown, he's nicked up as well. He did not play in this game either.
Yeah, so I'm feeling optimistic about both of them playing. Peter and Tyler come back to play Saturday.
All right, so we're a 21.5-point favorite. You want to go ahead and shoot that prediction out?
Okay, 21.5-point favorite. So we got homecoming. We got Stanford. All right, let me see here. I think the defense learned a little bit of a lesson. The backup's going to shore some stuff up.
I like what I'm
So
hearing.
when we get that big lead this game, the backup's going to come in. It still may be some points given up. I hope not. I do. Everybody loves a sellout. I love a sellout, but I'm gonna go Tigers. I'm gonna go 58-14.
Keys, I like how you think, man. I like how you think. I already had my score in my mind, so I'm going to go ahead and say it. But we like lockstep. So I like what you said about the defense. I think that, the backups have learned and has gotten some experience, so they got all the nerves out. So now they're going to, show what they got. I think it's going to be 59-14.
Ooh.
So,
okay. Look at us, boy. Okay.
We right there. We right there.
You sure you don't want to jump to the 60s this week?
Nah.
Okay.
I think we're gonna cool out on that. We're gonna cool out on that. Keep everybody fresh, right?
You know what? Okay, I like that because it's back-to-back weeks. We've jumped out to 56 points I have versus App State and 45 versus a conference opponent.
Yeah.
North Carolina State, which they still got some boys on defense now. They still got some athletes over there. So to do that,
Yeah, and they're gonna play with pride. They got some upside. It's just not against us. But
facts.
So 3 games I wanted to talk about real quick for next week that I saw. I just kind of wanted to touch on real quick. Notre Dame's playing Louisville, one of our conference opponents.
Should be a good one.
Colorado's playing UCF. That might be a good one as well. And the game of the week,
Game
day, Georgia and Alabama.
That's gonna be the one everybody's gonna have their eye on. Night game, 7:30. Georgia and Bama. The first Sabanless Georgia and Bama. So we'll see how that goes. Early on, I might be favoring Bama slightly in that one. Right as of right now, slightly.
Okay, you think Jalen Murrow can make it happen?
I think he can because I'm not that convinced on Georgia from what I've seen over the last couple weeks.
They looked a little weak, but I will say this: they still have some stouts at that running back position, man. So
yeah, Bama, if they don't do nothing else, they gonna keep it running back.
Yeah.
So
and I will agree with you. I'm not sold on Carson Beck. I know everybody's talking about him being, one of the best quarterbacks coming out this draft, and he might be, but I don't think he's number one. But we'll see, man. Georgia's only a 1.5 point favorite in that game.
yeah, they ain't really telling you much.
Yeah.
You can check us out on 7:30 The Game, ESPN Charlotte, ESPNCLT.com in the Charlotte and surrounding areas, all the markets. We're talking Clemson football. We talk college football. Follow us on all social media, IG, Facebook, TikTok, all that. Uplayedtho. So the search for us will pop up for you.
Uplayedtho. We're gonna put everything right here,
Right on the bottom of the screen. Check us out.
Yeah. And if you haven't already, man, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Uplayedtho. Just go to YouTube, type in Uplayedtho. You'll see all of our videos, our shorts, and everything. We're trying to engage with you guys. If you want to tap in with us individually, we have our TikTok pages and our Instagram pages. We'll put all that information down here below. And with that,
We out.
we out.